Welcome to Spiritual Changemakers, the podcast that guides you through tough times with practical tools and inspiring stories. I'm Andrea Thomas, your host and the Sacred Transitions Coach. Join us as we hear from spiritual changemakers who have connected with their higher power and overcame adversity. Whether you are navigating a difficult transition or seeking to deepen your spiritual practice, our podcast provides guidance to help you find magic in the change. Come on this journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation with us and unlock your potential to become your best self. Hello, my mission is to help people from around the world that are going through major transitions in their life to provide them with practical tools so they can show up as their best self. I have created this podcast because of the major transitions I have been through in my life, from moving to a new country to USA from Romania when I was 24 years old with only 2K in my pocket to actually losing my life partner due to a cancer journey. I have became very passionate of helping other people that are experiencing major transitions in their life because I know how it is. I have been there and I feel very blessed that in the last big change I experienced in my life that I was equipped with the right tools, with all the support so I can show up as my best self during that time. And this is my mission now to provide you, to those that are listening, to those that are joining, with those practical tools and with the embodiment that I can offer because of the experiences and the transitions that I had through my life. And another reason why I created this podcast, it's also because this is part of the legacy of my partner. I knew it after he transitioned in 2022, on April 14th of 2022. On the other side, I knew I want to start a podcast and it is going to be part of his story here, part of his legacy. And I finally did it. And I want to share with you a little bit more about me so you get to feel me, so you get to feel my energy, so you understand the reason, the purpose, the mission of who I am and how I got to be here and to do all of this. Because I've been wanting to create a podcast for the last few years, but honestly, I never gave myself the permission to do so. It took me a few years to finally believe in myself, to believe in my story, to believe that what I have to share is valuable. So here I am doing it, hoping to inspire you as well to know that if you are in a place right now where maybe you still doubt yourself, you're still questioning, am I good enough? Can I do it? Can I do what she does? For me to be a story that inspires you to know that you can do and have anything you desire. Because when I started on my personal development journey, after my near death experience back in 2015, a year or so after I started really changing my perspective and searching for my purpose, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually got a second chance to life. And after I have realized actually the blessing of still being alive instead of being mad at the fact that I had huge medical bills to pay and I had to deal with terrible headaches for over a year because I had a seizure, I was able to shift my perspective and really see the blessings, but it took me over a year to get there. But once I did, I started and I embarked on this journey of exploration, of getting to know myself. Who am I? What do I want? Why am I here? What is the reason of breathing, of being, of doing? And it took me years to be able to answer these questions because I remember being so disconnected from myself, from my feelings. I had no idea what I want, what I need, who I am. And I remember constantly searching for this external validation, for the external fulfillment. I remember after I moved to USA from Romania when I was 24 years old, with $2,000 in my pocket, I told myself, okay, Andrea, one of the reasons you are doing this is because you want to travel the world. So that was one of my big reasons. So you have to work and save money and then travel the world. So here I was embarking on this American dream of like, yes, I can do it. I can become independent. I can save money and I can do all of it. And the first year after I moved to US, I actually dealt with depression because I didn't realize the amplitude of the decision that I made, how hard it actually was for my whole being because my life changed like 180 degrees. I used to be a student back in Romania, going to school, studying, traveling, having fun, and working in the summer. That was my life. And then I moved to US and I started working and not just one job, but two jobs, two restaurant jobs. And I was working like 6 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. And I was asking myself, like, I really made the right decision to move here. Like, I'm so far away from my all of my friends, my family. I have no idea when I'm gonna be able to see them again. And I'm here doing what? Just working? Is this really life? But then this huge event happened in my life where I went to Las Vegas and I took a substance to which I had no idea I had an allergic reaction and I had a seizure. And after that, I would say my life changed, but not automatically. It took me over a year to be able to understand and feel the amplitude and gratitude of that event. I had to release the anger, the shame, the guilt that I was feeling around that event because I wasn't even able to share it with my family and my friends. So I would say the first step on my journey, it was the releasing of the guilt, of the shame, and really forgiving first and foremost myself for my past mistakes. And then people around me, forgiving my family for the hurt I had throughout my life, forgiving past friends, past lovers. So it was really a lot of releasing in my first phase of these transitions. Then another big transition that came, it was when I started my business. I was terrified. I never had any entrepreneurs, any people on personal development around me. And I just had this big idea that I want to travel the world and I want to be able to work from anywhere. And if I can help people along the way, why not? How that looks like, what it is, no clue. And I remember being obsessed with finding my purpose. I was like searching everywhere, like in all the courses, asking coaches, healers, but how do I find it? How do I find it? I was so obsessed. And I remember once asking my energy healer, I asked her, please tell me, like, do you find your purpose or do you create it? Because I was like so confused, when you go through this awakening where you're like, who am I? What am I here to do? What's going on? And I don't remember her answer, but what I can tell you is what I figured out with my journey is that it's both. You find it, but you also co create it through the actions, through the steps that you are taking and allowing each step to unfold and not being afraid of taking risks, of screwing up, of making mistakes, of looking ridiculous in front of the camera or whatever that is. Truly allowing yourself to do that. So after I embarked on this journey of finding my purpose, and eventually I discovered spirituality back in 2017. And then through that, I was introduced to coaching. And when I started studying coaching, like I had no idea what coaching is. I never heard about coaching until then. I remember starting studying the coaching industry and to become certified while I was working two restaurant jobs. And I was waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and like going through the videos and like so excited about learning. And when I started studying, I'm like, oh, it's for my personal growth. I haven't thought that that's actually what I'm going to start doing. But the deeper I went inside, I was like, wow. I was like mind blown. I'm like, I cannot believe something like this exists and this can actually transform people's lives. I was like, wow. So I knew it in that moment that that's part of my journey. That's what I wanted to do. I want to empower other people create the shifts and see the possibilities and go beyond their limitations, because one of the things that I realized until that point is how limited I was within my own field, within my energy, in my beliefs, what I thought is possible for me. Because everything I had in my environment until that point, it was very limited. So I had no reasons to believe that my life can be or look better, because we need those examples. We need the expanders, as I have been learning in one course that I'm doing. And the expanders are the people that already have what you desire, or they have parts of what you desire to manifest within your life. So after this coaching journey that I embarked on, I decided to finally quit my jobs and go full in into my business. And there I was, not making any money in my business, but going with so much confidence and trust and having my savings. Then I'm like, I know by taking this like big leap, I'm gonna be able to make it work, and I'm gonna start making an income in my business. And not just that, but I would be like super wealthy. Yeah, that was my thought. Little did I know that actually my life was about to take a huge shift, like a 180-degree shift, when in July 22nd, 2021, me and my partner, we received the biggest news in our life that truly changed the trajectory of how we lived our life. And we got the news that he has stage 4 cancer. And I remember when we heard that I was in full denial. I'm like, no, that's not possible. And I'm like, something has to be wrong, especially stage 4. It's it's not happening. So the first reaction was the denial. After the denial, I went into, okay, what is there to do? What are the best solutions? What are the best treatments out there? So I went into one of the best things that I know how to do, and I will probably you can relate to these two, where I went into my control mode. And what do I mean by that? I started researching everything I could have about cancer treatments. I'm like, okay, he's doing these Western treatments, but I want to bring in the Eastern treatments. I want us to bring the energy healing, the holistic treatments, and everything that I have learned in the past few years. And because I have been in this industry for the last few years, I knew a lot of people and I had a lot of resources. So I brought in all my arsenal of people and tools to heal him because that became my purpose during that time. I paused my life, I paused my business to be able to save him, to help him, to be fully committed to that journey. And while I was trying to control the outcome through my research and through making him do certain treatments and not do certain things, what I was actually trying to control was not getting to lose him. I was afraid that I am going to lose him. So that was what I was actually trying to control. And in that journey, what I didn't realize was the fact that me trying to control everything was actually taking his power away. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't fully believing that he has the power and that he knows what is best for him, because we cannot make decisions for someone else. And that was very hard for me to swallow, for me to accept. And when I got to the place of like, okay, I do not have to agree with his decisions in order for me to accept them, I was able to move on with more ease and flow during that really, really challenging time. We were on that journey for 8 months. And while that journey was one of the most difficult and painful journey that I've been on, it has also been one of the most beautiful ones because I was able to experience for the first time pure love, to give from such a selfish way, to give myself fully to someone, to a mission, to a purpose, selfishly. And then to experience from his side pure love. And I remember, especially the last few weeks when we were in the hospital, when I was next to him and we were just waiting because the doctors told us there is nothing else they can do. I was looking at him and all he was emanating, it was pure love. And for me to be able to experience that gift and to see that, it has been one of the most richest things, one of the most beautiful things that I was able to be gifted throughout my life. And after he transitioned on the other side on April 14th of 2022, oh, at the beginning, I couldn't really feel anything. And I remember like making it wrong and being like, why am I not really feeling the pain? Because I think our mind is just trying to make sense of what's happening. And at least that's what it was for me. And just after a few days, I remember my heart like literally hurting so bad and being like on the floor and crying. I was crawling like a baby when I was having an energy session with my healer, and I was feeling how I was reborn during that time. And this is what the most challenging times can do in our life. I look at them as a portal. I look at them as an opportunity to be reborn. And this is what happened to me. I felt like I was reborn, even if in that moment I didn't know in what. And I equipped myself with a lot of support around me. Because if there is something I have learned from my past transitions, from my past traumas, is that we are not meant to go through this journey alone. We are human beings who love and strive to be in community. So I have learned in this last journey the power of asking and receiving help from my community. And I'm so blessed because I had my soul family in USA, which is a lot of Romanian and American friends who have been next to us during those times at the most profound and deepest level in every way possible that you can think of. And that was the moment that I was able to heal my wounds around community. Because I remember when my mom left when I was 14 years old, I was left at home with my dad and my brother, that I had no one next to me. I had no friends, no community, no support in any level. So I continued my life from that point thinking that I'm alone and I have to do it alone. And I am so glad that during this last transition, I was able to heal that wound and to learn how to ask and receive help. And after my partner transition, I took a few months to focus on myself, to focus on my healing. And I knew I wanted to start traveling the world because that was one of our dreams. Both of us, we wanted to go and travel the world. And I told to myself that if there is something I have learned, is that there is no time to waste and there is no perfect time when everything is going to be arranged, when everything is going to be settled, to be able to just go and follow your dreams. So I took the leap of faith back in November in 2022 and started traveling the world. And I started by first going to Romania and taking part of my partner's ashes to his family, because I knew that was a big and important step of my journey. And after I did that, I went to see the rest of my family, friends, and then I embarked on my solo traveling. And I was terrified because it was the first time I traveled solo. And I remember living from my mom from Italy, and I was so afraid because everyone around me was telling me, oh my God, Andrea, you have to be careful because you are a woman. You're going to be by yourself. The world is a dangerous place. And, all these fears and worries that come from people because they love me and they want me to be good. And I took on all those fears and I was like, oh my God, can I really do this? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to have enough money? How am I going to make it work? Like all these things were crossing my mind. But then I told to myself, this is what my soul desires. This is one of my dreams that I'm not going to put behind me. And I am going to follow, and I trust and I surrender that I am going to be guided, I am going to be supported in every way possible. So I took the leap of faith. And I have been traveling now for quite a few months, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. And I have experienced the most magical things. I consider myself now that I'm a globalist, traveling all over the world with one-way ticket and no end date. And I have to actually pinch myself. Sometimes I cannot believe it. This is my life. And I'm making it work every single day. And I'm supported. And I have been meeting amazing people and manifesting like crazy every single day. Because when we live in alignment with our higher purpose, with our higher self, we are able to manifest and bring things within our physical space at such a high rate. And this is my journey. And while I was on this journey, I decided that I am ready to be back to my business, to refocus, because I knew I want to travel and to work, to pursue my mission, to pursue my purpose, because I know everything that I have been through in my life, all these major transitions, they happened with a reason. There is a purpose behind it. And this is how this podcast, the Spiritual Change Makers, came alive. And this is how my mission came to fruition, because I've never been as clear as I am right now with what I am creating, what I am going to bring into the world. And it's big, it's huge, and I know it's so doable. So in future episodes, you can expect that we are going to have a whole lot of different guests, from coaches, healers, spiritual workers, to just regular people that have been through major transitions in their lives, and they were able to overcome them and empower themselves and actually be better as a result of that. And we are going to discuss topics from mindfulness, meditation, energy healer, resilience, emotional intelligence, manifestation, and all these juicy topics that are going to help you become your best version. We hope this episode has inspired you to find the magic in the change, and to know that no matter what challenges you are facing right now in your life, that they can be a catalyst for your personal transformation, and they are a portal to actually help you become your best version. Until next time, take care and much love to you. I love you, I appreciate you, and I believe in you. Thanks for tuning in to Spiritual Changemakers podcast. To stay connected and help us reach more people like you, please subscribe, follow, and leave a comment. Join our community of spiritual changemakers on social media to connect with like-minded individuals and continue the conversation. Remember, the power to create positive change is within you. Keep showing up as your best self, and let's keep the magic of change alive. Until next time.